Good afternoon. I'm glad you are here with us today. You may have noticed our scenery changed a little bit. We have moved all recordings of worship service to my home. So I've brought some things that are familiar from our sanctuary so that this can still be a familiar worship experience. It's just the setting has changed a little bit. The sound will actually, I think, be okay in here as well. And we're going to be exploring this space actually a little bit. We have some other books we're going to get into after we finish my first hymnal. But you may notice I have a box right here. This is a big thing, like box reveals, I guess. So we're gonna get into that. Have you ever had a package that's is in the mail and you're just excited for it to arrive, and then it finally arrives and you want this pomp and circumstance? So starts off with a handwritten note from Elizabeth Pittman, who is the executive director of public relations for Concordia Publishing House. And it's a lovely note there. And there's a new initiative. We got some stickers in here. Concordia Gospel Outreach. So I got a few of those. And then the word of the Lord endures forever. So we have a few of those in there. But then we have, this is just all the stuff to get you excited for what's inside. We have a few of these packets of cards, looks like. And so the cards, I just opened this up and then packaged it all back up again because I figured we wanted to read this all together. These are guides for everything. Guides for worship, guides for reading God's Word, guides for studying God's Word, guides for teaching God's Word, and guides for serving with God's Word. So now, there's this new initiative, and I love that Concordia Publishing House is working to become a resource for the churches, especially small churches like St. Paul's that don't have the ability to buy a ton of resources. The ones that they keep coming out with that are fun and exciting. And so, especially at a time when people are searching, a time similar to right now was years ago, right after 9/11. And so people are going to be searching, and a time for evangelism and reaching out and outreach is a time also of crisis. The church can thrive at these times. So CPH came out with a new book, and it's called The Psalms and the Gospel for the Enduring Word Bible. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's very similar to what the Gideons give out in those little handheld gospel tracts with the Psalms in it. But this is also intended to be a place for writing questions. It's got some fun art throughout the way as well. So we have a lot of the Psalms. You can see some more art we just passed right there. And then you get into the Gospels. And in the Gospels, especially for someone that hasn't been familiar with the Bible, you actually have the red text, the red letters, to help people understand that these are the words that Jesus spoke. So we have, I don't even know how many are in here, 30, 40? We have quite a few of these books. Now, I know that we're on advisory in Durango to shelter in place. But when that's lifted, or you can even have these conversations now with people whom you know are searching and struggling, maybe other families that are trying to find a way to deal with and understand what's going on. There's devotionals to go along with it. And if you want one for your family, but if you especially want one for a neighbor or a friend who you know is searching and you want to go through it with them, let me know. These were free of charge. Thank you, Elizabeth Pittman and CPH, for this awesome resource and gift that they've given to us here at St. Paul's. They came out with 2,000 of these hot off the press this last week. I saw a posting from Elizabeth about this, And she said, let me know if you'd like some. I sent her a message. She said they sent out today. That was Monday. And here they are. So that is just so exciting that we can have those as a resource. But as you see, we have existing resources for families and for the individual in faith. Now, I know I'm focusing on families in a lot of these videos, but a lot of these are also for personal use. This one's maybe geared a little bit more towards families, my First Hymnal. But the rest of these can be used easily by the individual as well as by the family. And so we're going to walk through how to use those. Excuse me. At a time like this, the church we cling to each other, and we cling to God's word. And I would bring in my little visitor, but he's getting ready for other chores and tasks of his own. So we're going to sing his favorite one. I'm not going to pull out the guitar right now, but we're going to sing his favorite one because of all the food in the corner. But this is a way, kind of like yesterday, we look at the polar extremes of our relationship with God, thanking him for all the things he has done, asking him for him to stop or help us cope with tragedies or other things that we're dealing with in life. Now, thank we all our God. In the Lutheran Service Book, this is hymn 895. It's on page 104, 105 in my First Hymnal. Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things has done, in whom his world rejoices, who from our mother's arms has blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. Oh, may this bounteous God through all our life be near us, with ever joyful hearts and blessed peace to cheer us, and keep us in his grace, and guide us when perplexed, and free us from all ills in this world and the next. All praise and thanks to God, the Father, now be near us, the Son, and him who reigns with them in highest heaven, and the one eternal God, whom heaven and earth adore, for thus it was, is now, and shall be evermore. So you see, we're thanking him for his countless gifts, but we're also asking us to guide us when we're perplexed. Why is something like COVID-19 taking over the world? How do we relate to this? And free us from all ills in this world and in the next. So often the Christian is viewed as only being concerned about the soul. And what you see is actually this is not the case. Maybe this is just a time period where Christians have become confused or focused more on the soul than also physicality. The people who are suffering, we lift them up in our prayers as well. And this is a time for us to let the world know that. Blessings to you. I hope you like our new location. And this evening, we plan to hold an evening prayer from right here with you as well. Blessings to you, and have a wonderful day.